comments that you made there. The Office of Science and Renewable Energy has received nearly 50% of the stimulus funding, and it seems unlikely that this will be spent before the 2010 deadline. So we could talk about how that could be shifted. It's not a matter of, I don't favor this kind of thing, but you can only shovel so much money out the door in certain circumstances, and that's one thing that I would look at. Funding for environmental cleanup is down $161 million. There are two other factors that significantly increase the deficit of this program. It fails to fully fund the pension shortfalls that will reduce environmental cleanup by an estimated $400 million in fiscal 10. And I've included an amendment to the budget resolution to mitigate the impacts on this, but the budget will have on the cleanup, and I'm grateful, Mr. Chairman, for your support in that effort. And the budget includes a $200 million tax on uranium fuel to be paid by utilities, offset against our overall budget authority. If we don't do this, and it's frankly a little bit of a budget gimmick, it creates a $200 million shortfall in our bill. And this revenue isn't necessary, as there's $4.5 billion in existing balances. Those kinds of details we would talk through. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I will leave it there and do the best we can to move the hearing forward.
Senator Bennett, thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, I know that you personally worked hard on the budget that was presented to us, but you did so with very limited time and also with very limited staff. I regret that a good number of your nominations are now being held up. I have spoken to the senator that has the hold. It's a hold that's very Byzantine as far as I'm concerned, because that senator has been promised a hearing date, which is what he wanted. So I hope that you get those nominations through so that you can have a full complement of staff. But having done what you have done, you will now tell us the justification for the administration's budget proposals for the Department of Energy. Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here.
Dorgan, Ranking Member Bennett, members of the committee, I'm pleased to be before you today to present the President Obama's fiscal year 2010 budget requests for the Department of Energy. The President's 2010 budget seeks to usher in a new era of responsibility, an era in which we invest to create new jobs and lift our economy out of recession, while laying a new foundation for long-term growth and prosperity. President Obama's 2010 budget invests in a clean, renewable sources of energy so that we can reduce our dependence on oil, address the threat of a changing climate, and become the world leader in new, clean energy economy. The 2010 budget request for the Department of Energy is $26.4 billion, essentially flat compared to FY 2009, and it complements the significant energy investments in the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. This budget request emphasizes science, discovery, and innovation to support the key missions of the department. My written testimony includes an extensive breakdown of this budget, and I'd like to use this time briefly to highlight a few top-line numbers and areas of particular importance. To promote nuclear security and the President's ambitious non-proliferation goals, the budget requests $9.9 billion for the National Nuclear Security Administration. To continue to accelerate legacy cleanup of our nation's nuclear weapons production, the budget requests $5.8 billion for the Office of Environmental Management. To bolster the department's commitment to scientific discovery, the budget requests $4.9 billion for the Office of Science. And to foster a revolution in energy supply and demand while positioning the United States to lead on a global climate change policy, the budget includes requests for a range of energy investments, including $882 million for the Office of Fossil Energy, $845 million for the Office of Nuclear Energy, and $2.3 billion for the Office of Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy. That clean energy funding includes several notable strategic investments, even as this budget holds a line on spending overall. Solar power will receive $320 million, an increase of 82%. Wind energy is funded at $75 million, an increase of 36%. Funding for clean vehicle programs is up 22% to $333 million. and funding for building technologies is increased by 69% to $238 million. Another significant increase is in the Office of Electricity Delivery and Energy Reliability, which received $208 million, 52% more than in FY 2009, as it works to develop a new smart electric grid. The request also includes funding to implement the Loan Guarantee Program and Advanced Technology Vehicle Manufacturing Loan Program. With that brief overview, I want to turn to one of my top priorities in the budget and as Secretary, amplifying the Office of Science's fundamental research with innovative approaches to solving the nation's energy problems. Specifically, this budget request includes 3 initiatives designed to cover a spectrum of basic to applied science to maximize our chances of energy breakthroughs. The fiscal 2010 budget will launch 8 energy innovation hubs, while the Energy Research Frontier Centers and the ARPA-E were launched last month. Let me briefly explain the differences among these initiatives and why I believe launching these hubs is so important. The EFRCs are small-scale collaborations, predominantly at universities, that focus on overcoming no hurdles in basic science that block energy breakthroughs, not on developing energy technologies themselves. ARPA-E is a highly entrepreneurial funding model that explores potentially revolutionary technologies that are too risky for industry to fund. The proposed energy innovation hubs will take a very different approach. They will be multidisciplinary, highly collaborative teams, ideally working under one roof to solve priority technology challenges such as artificial photosynthesis or creating fuels from sunlight. A few years ago, I changed the course of my scientific work to focus on solving our energy and climate challenges. Because of the urgency of this issue and because I remain optimistic that science can offer better solutions than we can imagine today. But those solutions will only come if we harness the creativity and ingenuity and intellectual horsepower of our best scientists in the right way. I'm convinced that launching energy innovation hubs is a critical next step in this effort. Bringing together the best scientists from different disciplines and collaborative efforts is our best hope of achieving priority goals such as making solar energy cost competitive with fossil fuels, or developing new building designs that use dramatically less energy, or developing an economical battery that will take your car 300 miles without recharging. These are the breakthroughs we need, and the Energy and Innovation Hubs will help us achieve them. I saw the power of truly collaborative science like this firsthand during my time at Bell Laboratories. I believe that to solve the energy problem, the Department of Energy must strive to be the modern version of Bell Laboratories in energy research, and this is what these hubs will do. They will essentially be little Bell Lablets. These investments will pay for themselves many times over and enhance America's competitiveness on the green energy jobs of tomorrow. A final initiative in the FY 2010 budget is a comprehensive K-20 plus science and engineering effort called Re-Energize, standing for Regaining Our Energy Science and Independence Engineering Edge, funded at $115 million. Through Re-Energize, the department will partner with the National Science Foundation to educate thousands of students at all levels in the fields that contribute to our fundamental understanding of energy science and engineering systems. It is my firm belief that the short-term impact of the Recovery Act combined with the long-term vision in the President Obama's FY 2010 budget will lay the necessary groundwork for a clean economy. Both President Obama and I look forward to working with the 111th Congress to make this vision a reality. I appreciate this opportunity to appear before you, and I'm happy to take questions at this time.
Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for your testimony.